program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu Jamii. This is on GBS TV. My name is Betty Akuku. I am your host today, and today I am so excited to be hosting a couple, a special couple. We are yet to meet them, and I will ask them shortly to introduce themselves. But before that, what are we talking about today? We are going to be discussing marriage for persons with disability. I know for sure you don't want to miss this. Welcome, my guests. Please introduce yourselves.
Thank you so much, Betty. Viewers, good morning, and thank you for joining. My name is Samuel Odao. I'm the CEO of Ulemavu Research Institute, a disability research and consultancy company. And I am a person with disability, totally blind. So I'm here with my dear wife, Margaret. I think I'll give it to her to kindly introduce herself.
Thank you, Betty. Hello, everyone. My name is Margaret Jiro. I'm a wife to Samuel Odao, who is blind. I also serve as a director of research in the Ulemavu Research Institute. Looking forward for a very fruitful discussion. Thank you to you, Betty.
And for the sake of the viewer, Margaret does not have a disability.
Okay. A very good introduction right there. So someone says he's totally blind, and Margaret does not have any disability at all. At this time, I want to ask to be pardoned early enough, just in case I use the words that are not fitting. You know, a lot of times people refer to persons with disability as not normal, and maybe Margaret feels like she's normal. So just in case there's a mix-up of those words, I want to ask to be pardoned. I want to make an apology in advance. So our topic today is marriage and relationships for persons with disability. I know for sure that Margaret has such a story. And before we get there, Margaret, how was it for you dating, meeting, and relating with Samuel?
I'll say first dating and relating with Samuel was exciting and challenging at the same time. One, in my life in the past, I've never had interaction with someone who's blind. And he was the first person actually to be honest. So first, I accepted him as a friend. To me, dating someone with disability was like, someone is blind, just as a friend. It was good to me as a friend. But by and by, we found we are compatible. And so we confessed our love to each other. But at the same time, personally, I had a challenge of now the society. How do I introduce him to my friends? How do I introduce him to my parents? And it was quite a struggle. I know you understand.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. And just right there, I can imagine what a challenge. You know, just taking that step and saying, you know what, guys, this is the guy. I am thinking that Samuel was such a big winner. I don't know whether he feels the same, that he was such a big winner, he was so lucky, or it was just, fate, and Margaret didn't have anyone to go to. Samuel, how was that for you?
Betty, you will realize that in the Bible, God says that it's not good for man to be alone. So for me, in searching a wife, the first thing I was looking at, I want a companion and one that is compatible to my needs, someone that will complement what I need. And so it was not about the one who says yes first, because really if it's a question of those who say yes, that would have been tricky, including those who bring themselves. So I think you want to go with the person that is compatible to you. And so Margaret she ticked all the boxes. in terms of the person I was looking for. So she ticked all that. And two, we had to start from friendship, really, because you know, when you build a friendship, then all the rest follow. But then, lastly, I would say that there were challenges, definitely, because for one, I am from the Luo community. She's from the Embu community. I am a person with disability. She doesn't. So basically, getting into such one cross-cultural and two disability with no disability, it becomes difficult. But I believe in one thing. One bishop that I listened to a bit said that you cannot conquer what you will not confront. So I had to confront the challenges that were there. And I'm glad that at the end of the day, we surmounted them.
When I think about your story, I saw from your introduction that you guys have a lot of things that are not common. I also realized that Margaret is Margaret Njiru and Samuel Odao. I'm not sure if I will be wrong at this point to judge you by the names that they actually do not come from the same tribe. Is that it?
Absolutely. That's why I said I'm from the Luo community. She's from the Embu. And you know, among the Luos, Embus are seen as same as Kikuyu and Meru, so they don't see the difference. So it was a question of how do you introduce somebody that, you know, in my village, what they'll do is they'll tell you, can you walk the whole of this village and come back if you have gotten any lady of that name in this village? Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yes, but I'll tell you that in my community, we believe, there are those beliefs that Luos eat people, literally eating, like meat.
Oh, really?
Yes. So there are those tribes that we categorize them that they eat people, like when you talk of the Luos,
any community from the West.
The Luyas, any community from the West, the Tesos, they eat people. So on top of, I want to marry someone from a tribe that ate people. That was Hano. And to add on that, he has a disability. It wasn't easy.
I can only imagine what you had to bear and go over to get Samuel today as your husband, because, you know, Samuel, from wherever he was going to get a wife, you know, that was just okay for him, because from the view of the society, the expectation is he can get anyone, if no one, you know, anyone, just so that he doesn't have no one. But Margaret, today, other than just talking about the relationship and the marriage between persons with disability, one of my objectives that I really want to achieve today is educating the society, educating people, changing their mindset, because there are those things that people term as impossible and not normal and taboos, you know. How was this for you? Where did you get such a mindset to just go over this? Was Samuel so rich and that is what you wanted? What interested you in him? Because he already had a physical disability that you could actually see. A lot of things people discover, like emotional intelligence, later in the marriage, you know. How did you skip over this to just let go of yourself, let go of what the society is going to say, and just say, you know what, this is the guy? Was he so much rich?
I think in this introduction, we talked of we first formed friendship. We were first friends, just friends, nothing attached. He could come out. That time I was living in Nairobi, him in Mombasa. So when he could come to Nairobi, we could go just meet and as friends and just have a cup of tea. Then when it's over, he comes back to Mombasa. So first we built the friendship, and I came to learn he's just a normal person, just like me. He may have some limitations, but he's just a normal person, just like me. One, for me, I was looking for one who is born again. That was my first thing. You needed to be born again, a Christian, yeah. Two, I was looking for someone with vision, yeah, someone who has a greater vision than myself, someone who has a larger dream or a greater dream than myself. That's what I was looking at. When you talk of financial stability, maybe when we started courting and when we were friends, it didn't have a stable income. Yeah, it was struggling. So it wasn't, I was attracted because of the heavy pocket that he had. Yeah. So for me, I was looking at someone who is born again, someone who has a greater vision than myself, someone who has a dream. Yeah. And I mean, someone who can help me grow. And I can tell you for the fact that since when I met Samuel, he has helped me grow. He has helped me to raise my self-esteem. That one, someone may say, okay, you expect someone's esteem to be raised by me, but it is opposite. He is the one who has assisted me to improve on my self-esteem. Yeah. So first, when we confess our love to each other, and we came to learn there are so many things we have in common. Yeah. One, we are born again. Two, we have dreams. Three, we have visions. Yeah. And three, we are educated. I didn't want to have someone who is lesser educated than me. I wanted to have someone at least above me. It's just normal for wives. If man is head, they let him be head in everything. But it's okay if you go ahead of him, there's no problem. But for me, that's what I decided. And so after falling in love with him, the next step was now to introduce him to my friends. It was a bit tough. I remember, if you can confess, the time that you could come to Nairobi, I was okay if we meet both of us without anybody else. Maybe as friends is okay, but my friends, I was a bit shy. How will the society judge me? Is it that I've been so desperate up to the point that I need a blind person? I'm going for someone with a disability. It was quite a challenge, but I was able to overcome that. Yeah, and to accept him the way he is. He is a normal human being.
Margaret, didn't you meet other men?
Yes.
What was their disadvantage? What was the advantage? What advantage did Samuel have over them that you preferred Samuel even without seeing?
One, he is born again. I told you that's what the first characteristics that I was looking for. There are other men who are born again, yes. He has a vision, same like mine, and bigger one. So I was looking for someone with a vision, same like mine, but a bigger one. I was looking for someone who can help me grow. And for sure, he has done that perfectly well. I'm not where I used to be, and I know I'm going far because of him. Yeah. So I was looking with someone with a big vision, someone who is loving. Yeah. And I tell you, for this kind of people, they are good in loving. If you just win their confidence, just know you've gotten everything. Everything that he holds is just yours. And there is nothing, there's nothing for a woman to know that you are loved. That's the greatest thing, to know that there's someone who is taking care of you. He could even go, even when he didn't have a job, even when he didn't have a stable income, go an extra mile just to make me comfortable. And that's the person that you want in life. Someone who is caring, someone who is responsible, someone who is accountable. All those things, when put together, then that's the person you need to go for.
Wow. Before we get to how you managed to now go over the burden of introducing him to your friends, we'll talk about how that was for your parents. But let's get to Samuel and here. Samuel, you must have met other girls, and I guess that for you, I don't know whether you are also just thinking that if you were ever to get a woman, then it will just be another blind one like yourself or another one with a disability. How come you didn't think of that? How did you just decide to think of getting someone who is perfectly normal? Perfectly normal, yes.
In quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first I must say that I have studied in a mixed school right from primary school. Yeah, right from primary school. So I have had a chance to understand girls or ladies in a way because we have learned with them right from nursery. Uh, and then I got born again in Form 1, term 1, I think. Yeah, term 1, Form 1. So basically, that's the time I wasn't into ladies as such. And at the university, I was very much a Bible study leader. So yes, I would interact with many ladies and men, of course, because of being a Bible study leader of our group. But I never had any girlfriend in Kenyatta University. Of course, I blocked all that out because one, I was saying I want somebody first who fears God and at the right time. I don't want to get into a relationship when I'm not ready to marry. Yeah. So that does not mean I was perfect. No, I fell into my own challenges. There are lots of pitfalls in the process, but I was kind of focused. Regardless of the challenges, I was still able to surmount that until when I started looking at, okay, now I want to marry. Number one, I insisted I have to marry somebody that complements me. So if I am blind, how on earth am I going to marry another person who is blind? In my view, that was going to be challenging because who is to see when a snake comes into the house? Already I can't see it. And then I get somebody who can't see just like myself. Or I'm out there, I need to be guided. And then my wife is equally looking to be guided. To me, that would be a challenge. So I want somebody who could complement, who can do what I cannot do comfortably. Or where I have a weakness, then they bring in the strength. So I was looking at Margaret as, does she meet those qualifications? Of course, I saw some. She was not my first girlfriend. But I look back and say that I'm glad the rest said no, because she possesses things that those didn't have. Yeah. So I was not out to just get for the first one who says yes. That one walk away, but I couldn't go that route. I wanted somebody who meets the qualifications that I'm looking for, or the qualities that I'm looking for. Yeah.
How did you just decide to put conditions, yet you were already lacking yourself?
Because I like myself and I must look for myself the best. You know, the Lord God says that my people shall eat the best of the land. So why would I want to go for something average when I'm not average myself, right? So I have to look for somebody, and somebody to be the mother of my children is not just anybody. No, it has to be somebody who meets the qualifications. And I knew I was going to get a one because my God is not limited. He is able to supply exceedingly abundantly above all things that I could never think or imagine. So if he had given me education against all odds, if he had given me independent living against all odds, surely he was also going to give me a wife of my choice.
Wow, wow. That was such a great and spectacular mindset that you got at that time. And no wonder Margaret choosing, amongst all men would just settle on you. It was such a good mindset. Congratulations. And now, Margaret, to your parents, before Samuel talks to us about his fellow people with disabilities, how they look at themselves and view themselves as, really disabled and unable and not able to arise and do something normal or something good, not able to have a right mindset. And all they're thinking is, I just want to get somebody who is like me. I cannot cross this boundary. So how was it having to introduce Samuel to your parents?
Well, as I alluded earlier, it wasn't easy. First, it's normal for a girl when you want to bring someone in the home, in your family to talk to your mom. I remember there's a day we sat down with mom when I started talking to him. The first time I talked to him about Samuel, we talked with her the whole day since around immediately after breakfast. We talked, lunch came, we talked, up to evening we talked. And for her, she was like, no. In this whole village, have you looked for someone and you can't get one? Yeah?
I know, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, when I was in college, I was in an evangelistic team. And so we could go home as missionaries and to minister. It was like, are those men that you normally come with them to our church to preach? Does it mean there is no one that you can choose from them? Yeah? I was like, are these men that have gone to university in our village and in the Africans, does it mean you've gotten no one? Yeah? And we didn't finish well. I just told her that for me, I've made the decision that this is the man that I want to be with in marriage. So that was sometimes in June. And then later, after 1 year, I went back. Now I'm ready. I want to bring him home. And mom was like, I've never had something like that. And because of course, when we talked with her, she talked with my dad. And my dad asked her, okay, you are the one who told me that she talked to you about someone. How come you've never heard about that? So to her was like, I've never heard. That was 1 year later. I've never heard about him. And it was quite a tough hill. And up to the day of introduction, my parents had saying, we don't want him. Yeah? And mind you, my parents are born again. My dad is a senior elder in our home church. He is a prayerful person. We've had many challenges in our family, but because of him being prayerful, we've been able to stand together. And so he went an extra mile now to pray against it. Yeah? I remember he called one of my cousins who is also born again. And he told her, now we need to pray against this. She says she's bringing someone home, but we are praying against it. Then my cousin told him, for me, I can't really pray about that. You just pray on your own. you just pray on your own. And I talked to my sisters, and my sister was like, okay, if that's what you decided, it's okay. So the day when someone was coming home, now the following day, that previous night, it was so tough for me. One, they saying they don't want him. He's coming tomorrow, but they don't want him. And remember, I slept at around 2 a.m. when we are trying to talk about him. Then my dad just said, let him just come. I'll know what I'll see after he comes. So someone comes with his friends. It was just at the introduction, not the parents. I know I didn't introduce him now. I remember that day in the meeting, my mom didn't speak anything. She was so angry. She couldn't have any word. And I don't judge her. I don't judge her. She couldn't say anything. She was like, oh my God, what is not happening? As my daughter gone, you know, all those things in her mind. When she was given a chance to speak, she didn't say, she just said, I'm okay, I can't say anything for now. But the meeting ended well. So that was the first thing. But in the evening, before someone left, my dad actually had some positive remarks. Karibu sana, you are my son. So I was like, oh wow. That was a bit positive, but it wasn't easy. So after someone left, and my dad were left home, and they told her like, okay, I think we can just give him a chance, because For them, they saw I was so determined. I wasn't ready to change my mind, and this is the person I wanted. It was like, okay, if that's what you have chosen, well and good. Yeah.
Okay, so it was not that you were desperate.
No.
Okay, okay, okay. When was that? How many years has it been?
Well, I introduced him in, we did a wedding in 2013, so I was introducing him in 2012 is the past. Is the 2012 is when I talked to my mom about him. Now I was now taking him home on 2013. But 2012 is when I first talked to my mom about him. So 2013 is when I was taking him home. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Samuel, there are people who have disabilities like yourself, and some of them are even unable to walk. And this has become such a big thing in their hearts that they're not able to do anything at all. How did you manage to love yourself, appreciate yourself, go to an extra mile of not just having education, but thinking positively that you can actually have a wife who is normal and live a normal life?
You see, Betty, my mom, she's now late. She passed away in 2003. My mom did not go to school. Yet she had these inherent capabilities of, knowing that I had a potential, and she took me to school, right? She literally got a school and took me to a special school, struggling to a point that she would even brew the local brew. In my area, it's called Chungu, for me to study. And I looked at my mother, and she inspired me a lot. Because she did not look at me as a blind person. She had never seen a blind person anywhere. And she did not go to school, so she did not study this in school. So I believe that everybody has an inherent potential that God has just put there. And focusing on your strengths and capabilities is more than thinking all about what you don't have and what the things that you need and stuff. Sometimes we overpray for the things we need, we think we want, to an extent that we even forget what we already have, the potential that we already have. So for me, I, in honor of my mom, having been inspired by her, I knew that there's nothing in this world that I couldn't get if I put my mind to it. There is a grandfather of mine who prayed to me when I was, I think, 5 years old. And he said that I'd be the light of that home, right? I didn't understand what that meant at the time. But you see, I started having challenges with my schooling, right from primary to Form 4. I was never in school early. No, always. I would come either a month to the end of the term or 2 months to the end of the term. But I still made it. I was still top in the class, either number 1 or number 2 in primary. And then in high school, I would still always be top 10, top 3, So the things, being top 10 in high school, mostly I would always be around top 6, thereabout.
Yes.
But I'm coming late already, a month, 2 months to the end. So I developed that character that I always go for what I want. And when I got born again, that was even better now. Because now I would read the Bible and agree with what the verses say. And when I pray, I tell God, you said this, you said this, and that was guiding me. And my mom was my pillar. Unfortunately, she passed away when I was now I was just joining university. So I think what I would say is that despite the challenges that you have as a disability, yes, one may have a disability as a challenge, but there are others with a challenge of money and a challenge of others that exist in this world. There are many, many challenges. So persons with disabilities should not look at that disability as the greatest challenge of all. No. Look at yourself as a human being with potentials and accentuate those potentials by always doing that which you are capable of and not focusing on your weakness. Yeah.
That is really, really important to hear, especially by the people who have disabilities. Even normal people sometimes are unable to achieve and chase after the things that they want. And today, I guess that Margaret is such a blessed and happy wife to Samuel, even though he doesn't have eyes. I wonder what your parents now say, Margaret. Is it like 6 or 7 years down the line?
It's 6, it's ending to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, my parents now, they know. They don't just believe, they know that I chose the best. There's a time we had a family meeting, yeah? And we were many. And my dad could revert to him as my son. You know, he has gotten, it is not my son-in-law, my son. Yeah, and
I know.
all the others could be called by their names, or father whom, mother, but for him was specifically my son. They've accepted him, yeah, and I mean, because I've helped them know that this is just a normal person. He may have some limitations, yes, but he also has some great abilities. He's limited in some, yes, but he has also got some abilities that are even higher than any other, than some, if you call
normal
them
people.
Yeah, the normal people. So they accepted him, yeah, like just like another person. And I've seen actually my dad even trying to help some people with disabilities, and even reaching out to him. Okay, he did mention that he works with National Council of Persons with Disabilities, reaching out to him and asking him, is there a way that we can help these people? Yeah.
Wow.
So to him, he has now become an ambassador, even in the village, even in the society. Even he sees now these people, they can, because now he has seen the potential in him. But it's not easy, it's cultivated with time. And I'll say by God's grace, we've gotten this far. So for now, they've accepted him. They've made even others, even the society, even in the village, you know, to him was like, the daughter was married by, in the past, the daughter was married by a blind person. That was the past, the blind person that was visible. But now, as they speak, is like this, the daughter was married by a great man. It's completely opposite. She was married by a great man. So even when we are going home and the way we are waiting, I remember that time we went for Christmas at home. Even the celebration is a great man is coming. Yeah?
I know, it's a great celebration. You know, when one mindset is changed, you know, when someone changes their mindset, one life is changed, and then you proceed to change the society. And before you know it, you are changing the whole world. If only you can have the right mindset. And this is what Samuel actually possesses. And Samuel, I would like to know again from you. I know our viewers are really interested as they look and watch this. The people who have disabilities. For your case especially, what were some of those challenges that at one time you even felt like you're gonna give up if those moments ever came? I know you are the CEO of Ulemavu Research Institute, and as a result, you are meeting with a lot of people who have disabilities and are experiencing very big challenges, you know. What are some of those challenges that just keep people stuck to themselves?
First and foremost, my education was not easy. To be honest, it was tough. And this started right from primary, this idea of coming late. And you know, the school asks for money, and you know there is no money in school. And I remember there's a time that I had to tell the deputy head teacher in my high school when he wanted to send me home. And I told him, look, I have done my part. Why can't you talk to my dad? Because me, I read. My work is to read. My dad is to pay school fees. Now, why do you quarrel me instead of quarreling the dad? He just told me, go away. Because it was, you know, there's a time I would just tell God, I'm not leaving school again. I'm not leaving. You know, I'm not being sent home. So those were tough. And at times, the school is closed, when you end the term, and you don't have fare to go back home, right? So you have to struggle. I've even slept in country bus. There's a time I slept there because I left Thika going home and I didn't have money. And I was not going to sit in that school and look miserable. I don't like looking miserable. So I would rather just move. And I left. And I got to Nairobi and I was expecting to find some friend of mine who was a conductor in some bus. And unfortunately, the bus had just left. So I ended up sleeping in one of the buses, waiting for my friend to be back the following day, so that then I could be taken to Nakuru for free. So there are lots of challenges that I've gone through. And even girls, I told you Margaret was not my first. There is one that I saw somewhere, and I thought, really, that is somebody I wanted to talk to. And then when we talked, she just said a flat no, that kind of no. And I think ladies should at least learn how to say no. Don't say a no that can send somebody fainting.
How did you see her? How did you see her and you were totally blind?
The voice, for blind people, they are very keen on your tone, the tone that you use to say no. And the words. Unfortunately, I love language. I say unfortunately because then sometimes somebody uses words that they don't quite understand the depth, the connotation, not just the denotation. Sometimes the connotation of that word. Yeah, so that was it. But look, when I realized that Margaret was equally having a challenge convincing her parents, not like my parent was comfortable with that. No, even my parent was like, you just have to go up there. But I had to go out of my way, not only to help my parent understand that I've made the right decision, but I also had to help her parents know that she's made the right decision. So how did I do that? By carrying myself with dignity. Yeah? Like when I go there, you go there with dignity. And you will understand the way
not
you
going
dress,
to seek sympathy.
The way you travel, go there. I was there with my friend, and not just one. I had two, because I knew that place is healing. So one, I am sure I make sure I am in control of my movement. That's something I hope persons with disabilities can understand. If you are blind, be in control of your movement. Don't go for a matatu when you don't know how to even get a boda once you get to that place. So I would rather get a car. Not that I had a good job. No, at the time I didn't have good money. But I had to go out of my way and then have two friends. So that I don't have one friend. When you are guided by one person and it is a hilly place, the chances of you sliding and falling are very high. Because it is hilly. Embu is very hilly. So I had one friend to my left and another person to my right. I didn't tell them that is the thing. It is in my mind. I just plan myself because in my life I believe in strategy and tact. So I have these two people and we are walking slowly. I'm telling them there's no hurry here. So let's just walk from the car to the house. Let's just go slowly. The whole point, I was making sure that I am not having a situation where I have fallen down. Falling down, yes, it could be an accident, but to them is a confirmation. This is how he'll be falling. And then number two, I didn't want her to be the one guiding me. Let them know about that later. Yeah. So we were in the same car when we came from Embu to her place, but I didn't want to be her the one guiding. That also sends perceptions. I am very keen on first impression. So I go with my friends and the ones guiding me, right? And they see that I also have friends, because you see, there are people who think, so this person is going to be a burden to her. He does not even have friends. So that going with friends alone was a confirmation to them that at least he even have friends. Now, when they told me that they've educated Margaret up to university level, I was quick to give a rebuttal that I was also there. I was also in the same university. Just to let them know. And I knew that I was going to also bring this up. I told them, or I think I told Margaret to tell them, that by the way, even though I am the ninth born in a family of 10, My family, actually, most of them now depend on me, or at least I do the greater role in ensuring that my father is comfortable and my brother. So the point I was trying to drive home is that I am dependable. I'm not going to depend on their daughter. I am dependable right from my family depending on me. So if I'm able to support my dad, surely I'll be able to support their daughter. So I'm trying to say that, look, when people have wrong perceptions of you, you must also go out of your way to correct that by helping them know you.
True,
because sometimes the problem is also us persons with disabilities. You are so much steeped into sympathy and pity partying, and you're just looking at how people don't like you and discriminate against you. You must also ask yourself, what are you doing to help those people understand you? And then have you changed your attitude yourself so that you have the right attitude? Because really, it is your attitude that will determine your altitude.
Wow, nice one there. Margaret, so now you are dating and you have come a long way. You are now married to Samuel. Did you at some point have challenges like, so who will take him to the bathroom? I can't travel and be here for a whole day. How is he going to do this and that? How will he get into the car? I have to drive him around. Did you have like such kinds of thoughts, and how did you deal with them?
Well, I'll say no, I didn't have that kind of thoughts.
Oh, really?
When I met him, he was living alone in his house alone. Okay? And cooking for himself, doing everything for himself.
Wow. And you add in a foreign town, not in his hometown.
Yes, in Mombasa. So that time we were just courting. So, but he was doing everything alone. I remember there's a time I came to visit him, and in the course of visit, I got unwell, and I really needed hot water. I've got some few health issues. So, and he really rushed and lit up the stove and warmed up the water and brought it to me. So, this someone that even when I'm unwell, he is able to take care of me. That time was just quoting. Yeah? So to me, he was already living an independent life. He wasn't, it didn't come to my mind that he was going to be a bother or I'm going to be tied up with the things, because already he was living an independent life before I came.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so to
that's
me,
good.
that didn't bother my mind. Yeah.
That's really, really good. I like that. I like that. It's encouraging to other people who are normal and think that this is a taboo or an abnormal step to take in life. We actually have less than 5 minutes to go, unfortunately. But I would like to hear, what are some of the things that have been, your happy times and the advantages you have enjoyed, the exciting times you've had? You have told us some challenges that you had, but those were just when you are alone, each one on themselves. So I would like you to tell us briefly the challenges you have had together because of having married a person with disability, and also some of the things you have really enjoyed that even today, given a swap, you would not go for it.
Somewhere, maybe go fast.
Now, okay, our happy times. First of all, the challenges, of course, would be mostly financial because I got a good job when I was just also getting married. So obviously and I didn't want to go fundraising for my wedding. So I actually had to do everything by myself. The consequences of that is that then you then have a bit of financial challenges. Number two, I was working from a distance. I was working in Dadaab. Actually, we wedded in December, and January I was back to Dadaab, right? So that obviously we were not able to be together for long after honeymoon. And then after Dadaab, when I left Dadaab, I went to study for my master's in the UK. So you can imagine again 1 year without the wife. I am out there in London all alone. So distance, kind of having to then there's the bit of getting to know each other. I am very strict on what should be where. I don't, my things ought to be in their right places because I don't want to knock them down. She was slightly opposite that. so I had to teach her that, please, things are to be in their right places. So knowing each other is one. And of course, then helping people understand that we are in this because we love it. No, nobody is desperate here. That is, it is easier said than done. Helping people understand is another thing. And so our joys, wow, we when we have our fellowship in the house and when we get to meet her people and the people who didn't like me before now like me so much, those are highs. And we have also traveled abroad with her and enjoyed life outside there. And when we got our first child, that was our highs. And so what I want to say is this. I think people should just learn one thing. To understand persons with disabilities, the key is in interacting with them. The moment you interact with them, you will get to understand them better and get to know what their strengths are and then focus on those capabilities. Because at the end of the day, we are all humans with different potentials. And the question is this, out there, my viewer, do you have a friend who is a person with disability and you are friends just because of it? You are friends for the sake of it, not because you are colleagues, not because you are classmates, not because you are schoolmates. You are friends just for the sake of it. And if you are colleagues, then you spend your time together, say over a cup of tea, just so that you can understand them. Because it is in understanding them that you will discover the potentials that they have. And you'll just find probably you have a business partner in them and you never knew, or a wife or a husband, and you never knew that. You will get to know that only when you interact with them.
Wow, excellent. Well put. Margaret, I don't know if you have any last words to say to the girls there who are looking for a Mr. Right, but with no physical disability at all.
Okay, I'll say one. One, look for someone that you love. That must be one thing. With someone that you love. Look for someone that is responsible. Look for someone that you share dreams with. That is very, very, very important. Don't go for someone because you are desperate. No. And appreciate everyone. Just to know that everyone deserves love. Everyone, with or without disability, everyone deserves to be loved. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Odao. Congratulations for overcoming your greater heights to even get to a place that you are happy today, in spite and despite all the challenges that have been around you, especially societal. I really appreciate that I was able to host you guys today. Thank you, viewer, for watching Chungu cha Jamii. It has been such a blessing to have you watch this. I hope that you have been blessed by the Odawas and that you have taken a lot of things home, especially on how you now view people with disabilities. Samuel says, interact with them to know them better before you just make your own judgments. It has been such a lovely time. My name is Betty. See you next time.